All right. You're welcome back. This is TV3 New Day. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, it's time now for the big issue. And so if you just tuned in, well, we're grateful. Make sure to also pass on the message that Aside TV, we're streaming live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. And if you want to also share your opinion, ask questions, whatever it is, you can join us via Facebook at TV3 Ghana and drop your comments on there as well. But remember, add the hashtag TV3 New Day. You can also drop your comments on X and on Instagram with the hashtag TV3 New Day, but share the link so as many people as possible can join the live stream. You can also find us on DSTV channel 279. And just a reminder that as we're watching the show and as we're discussing very important issues, we're also giving you the chance to win some cool cash, courtesy Cash Out. All you have to do is to make sure that, first of all, you're an MTN subscriber or a Telecel subscriber. Just dial *439# and select option 2. Now, option 2 represents the channel on which you're playing, which is TV3. And so that's why we're asking you to select option 2 so you can also win some cool cash. 3 of you will get 1,000 Ghana cedis each before the end of the show. So in total, we're giving 3,000 Ghana cedis to 3 of our viewers. And every morning, this happens. And so if you've never won before, if you've never played before, this is your chance. Today might be your lucky day. Say a prayer before you play the game. But don't just say a prayer and play once. You have to play as many times as possible to increase your chances of winning. Now, this morning, we will be looking at the issue of galamsey, legal mining in the country, its impact on our river bodies, our forest areas, in fact, our food that we're consuming, and the water as well. Supply of water, according to Ghana Water Company Limited, has reduced. In the central region, they're struggling to produce water. In the past, where there was about 70% of water available to be used in households, now they're saying that it has reduced to 40% because of turbidity, because of pollution in that water. Now, also in the Ashanti region, the Ghana Water Company Limited is saying that they are forced to shut down 2 of their plants because they are not able to keep up with, the cost of purifying our water. And that's because it is too polluted. Too many things in there as a result of illegal mining. In fact, if you look at some statistics, it says that we have around 7.6 million hectares, of primary cover, forest cover, and 297,000 hectares are planted forest. But in 2022, Ghana lost 18,000 hectares of primary forest. That's nearly 70% increase from 2021. It was the biggest increase in forest loss of any country in recent years. And they gave reasons why we're losing our forest areas. And one of the main ones is mining. Illegal mining is contributing heavily to the loss, of our forest cover. And you remember, or maybe you don't, but the then finance minister back in June 2022 also spoke to us and indicated that 1.41 million hectares tree cover was lost in 2 decades. That is actually alarming. And then also, you go to how many forest areas have been impacted. We're told that 34 major forests in Ghana have been significantly impacted by illegal mining. So we're just going downstream, literally. We're losing our forest cover, and that also means that climate change is going to be real. We've already started seeing the signs of that. But even beyond that, the food we're eating is going to be polluted because of the water that's been used to plant these crops and to irrigate our crops. Because over the weekend, I was at Trefopraso, and I spoke to a cocoa farmer who said that they don't have a choice. All their water bodies within the community are polluted. And so if they have to water their crops, they fetch from the same pra that is now brown, filled with mercury and lead and all kinds of pollutants. And that's what they're using to water their plants. So are you thinking about all the other crops that they're growing and the fact that once they harvest, they bring it down south to us to consume? And that means that we are all at risk. What are we doing about this situation? What is leadership? What is Parliament also saying on this matter? Well, the Speaker of Parliament spoke on this matter, and also some MPs yesterday on the floor of Parliament spoke, and this is what they had to say.
If we take census, some of you will be there. And the people you are talking to are aware. It's not that they are not aware, they are aware that some of you are participating in it. So please, first desist from doing it yourself. Don't go to them for the money for your campaigns. Don't go to solicit their votes. Let them see you work. truly, it's a disgrace that we've gone to this far. Look at the water.
To ensure that anybody, whether you are a religious person, you are a traditional person, you are a politician, you are a flag bearer or an MP who politicizes Galamsey operations in this country, this House must take action on that person.
By tomorrow, the minister should appear before Parliament to brief us what they are doing to address these serious problems. We all know now there is water shortages all over in Ghana, particularly in Kumasi, particularly in Mansia, where the running mate of MPP is coming from.
If we are to look and investigate, you polluted the water more than us. You polluted the water more than us.
I would want to urge all of us to pursue this matter and not make those civil society organizations helpless. It's a serious matter, Mr. Speaker. It is a serious matter. And we know this salination is very expensive. Are we now going to process seawater to drink? It will cost the nation.
What they are doing to address these serious problems. We all know now there is water shortages all over in Ghana, particularly in Kumasi, particularly in Mansia, where the running mate of MPP is coming from.
If we are to look and investigate, you polluted the water more than us. You polluted the water more than us.
So while we are told that 34 major forest reserves in the country have been significantly impacted due to illegal mining, and we're told that some of the worst affected forest reserves are Papraman. As said yesterday, we're told that about 50% of that forest reserve is gone. Now, Subin Shelter Belt and Odan River Forest in the Ashanti region are some of the areas that have been badly affected by Galamsey. We have members of parliament who are now playing the blame game as to who polluted our water bodies more than the other. And that's very disappointing, very disturbing. But we'll hear from our guests in the studio to find out what they make of this and what really is the plan to address this issue, because Ghanaians are being poisoned by the polluted water, whether we bathe in it, whether we drink, whether it's used to water the plants that we're consuming on a daily basis. All that is affecting us. In fact, we've been told by journalists that he was advised by a toxicologist that every Ghanaian, maybe at this point, should go for a toxicology test just to check how much of these metals we have in our bloodstream. We seem to be playing games with this, and this is very disturbing. But anyway, we have Nana Kwame Asafo J.I. He's a parliamentary candidate for Busome Freho constituency. It's also one of the areas that's been impacted by illegal mining. But he's here with us, and I guess he'll give us an update on what's been done so far with regards to the announcement that community mining was going to be managed in their constituency. Good morning, Nana Kwame. How are you?
Good morning.
I hope you're well.
Yeah, sure. How are you too?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Are you coming from your constituency?
Yes, not quite long ago.
Not quite long ago. Sure. So I'm guessing that you've also been following up on Galamsey in your community.
Of course, for me, it is part of the issues that we deal with when we go into elections, and it's part of the day-to-day activities we deal with.
I see.
Yeah, so I have an understanding.
All right.
And how some of this.
Eric Edem Agbana is the parliamentary candidate for Ketu North constituency. You're welcome as well.
Bella, thank you so much.
I hope everything is going well.
Yeah, by God's grace. Let me say good morning to our viewers across the country, especially to the good people of Ketu North. And let me use your platform to thank the chiefs and people of Ketu North for joining us on Sunday to launch our campaign and also to outdoor our vision for the constituency in a document we titled Ajogbe, which is my pledge and John Dramani Mohammed's pledge to the good people of Ketu North. And let me say that the people are demanding that TV3 should bring the community manifesto, the manifesto watch, to
community
our
manifesto.
The community manifesto.
Yes.
We should bring it to our constituency. We are more than ready to avail ourselves, because we have a solid vision in this document, which we outdoed on Sunday. And so we are inviting you publicly that Ketu North cannot wait to host you and your team for the community manifesto. We need to share ideas and engage in the politics of ideas, politics of development. It is only when you are speaking to the issues, to visions that you have outlined, that you don't delve into the petty politicking and the indecent politics of lying or attacking personalities and all of that. So we have only 94 days to elections. We are pleading with TV3 that you visit Ketu North and let's have a very good conversation on the constituency and what we hope to do for the constituency. Yeah.
Well, I know we have a plan as to where we're visiting at what point, and so I'm definitely sure that Volta region will see us there, as well as all the other regions that we have not visited yet. I must say that the Volta region is one of my favorite places to go to. I like the beaches especially.
Very
and there's
clean.
just some calmness that comes with going to the Volta region. I always say this every time I come back. I haven't been there in a while.
You should,
I do hope that the water bodies are still as
clean,
pristine and clean as
very
they will. But also joining us this morning via Zoom is a toxicologist, and it's important that we have that conversation with him because we're talking about mercury, lead, cyanide getting into our water bodies and eventually getting into the food that we're eating. For those who live in those communities that are swimming, because we've seen videos where some people are even swimming in the polluted water, how bad could this be for their health? And Yakubu Adam is joining us via Zoom. He is a toxicologist. Good morning, Yakubu. I hope you're doing well. Yakubu, can you hear me? You might have to unmute yourself if it's possible. Well, we'll see if we can bring him in shortly so we can have that conversation because we can't seem to connect with him at this point. But like I said, Yakubu is a toxicologist and so he'll be joining us. But good morning to all of you who have joined us via Zoom as well. We're grateful for your messages. And there's a message from Michael Kojofakoti, who says, such a reckless comment that someone has polluted the water more than you. Who needs... Okay, we're going to skip that. Let me see what else we have. Okay, they polluted the water more than you, and that is why we voted them out. Your president promised to put his presidency on the line in the fight against Galamsey. What are we seeing? And maybe I'll start off with you, Nana, because I would have wanted to start with Eden, but I'll come to you first, especially based on that statement that was made on the floor of Parliament by a member of your party. He is the majority chief whip in Parliament. And this is a time when we're supposed to be looking for solutions. Already, many of us are of the view that this government has failed in the fight against corruption. And I'm sure many of you will agree to that as well. We're having conversations to figure out what we can do to fix the problem. And we have a senior member of Parliament now reducing it to blame game and saying that, well, the NDC has polluted the environment more than the NPP. Why should we even be having this kind of conversation at this time?
Bella, thank you. And let me also take the opportunity to extend my greetings to the good people of Busumifera. I know many of them are watching, and I am grateful for the opportunity to lead and serve them. Bella, I think that I will come to Honorable's comment, but I have a story here, which is by Inusa Fuseni. Akufo-Addo is sincere in his fight against Galamsey, says Inusa Fuseni. I am not interested in the heading, but I want to read something he said. He said, the fight against illegal small-scale mining must be a comprehensive one, adding, I agree with the president. This is not a fight to be left for one single political party. The issue of Galamsey affects all of us, so we have a responsibility to protect the water bodies. Bella, you see, I am hoping that this discussion comes dispassionate, devoid of partisanship and political inclination. When it comes as such, we will end up with this discussion having preferred solutions, having given candid views and comments, which we believe that it is the way to go. But when the discussion now turns a bit of political game, then you find me pointing out to Adam the time they were in government, the things they did, because I have a litany of stories that were comments, that were things, even this news about Ghana Water, talking about pollution of water, has been issued several times, and I have dates and times that they issued when NDC is in government. But that is not the argument. So I believe that the member of parliament didn't just wake up to just go and say that you polluted water more than us or you did this more than us. And sometimes it becomes sad when you find people who are culprit of the same thing they are accusing you of something. And that is where you have issues and you have people making such comments. Look, I come from a constituency where, in fact, Galamsey is one of the major issues we have to deal with. I mean, and when you are dealing with this Galamsey issue and you are not careful, you would get your hands burned in the act of dealing with it. I have a former DCE who was sacked because of a tape supposedly, implicating him on Galamsey issues. Several of them in the Ashanti region, Mansour Dubia and all that. Even the former DCE of Mansour Dubia, even having a phone call mentioning Galamsey and telling the people that, look, in my constituency, it is difficult to manage some of these things. She was sacked. In my constituency, the same happened.
What's your point?
My point is that we have very critical national issue eating all of us up. In my place, we have a lot of river bodies that when I show you those river bodies, you cry and you ask yourself that, what's happening here? But you see, when we are going to deal with this, and you do not let us deal with this as Ghanaians, as people who are concerned, and you want us to deal with it as political and scoring cheap political point out of it, then we will not get it.
Who is making this political?
You see, your first question to me was that, what do you make of the comment by the MP? That was your question. And I'm telling you that the comment by the MP will be born out of some of these arguments I am making.
Should he even be making this statement?
It's not about...
Listen,
no, you see, that's my
like
problem.
Hold on. It's like saying that we have two murderers.
Yes.
We are accusing both of them of murder. In fact, they are all guilty of it. Then one says that, oh, but you killed 10 people, so you're even worse off than me.
You are not getting
when in actual fact, there's one that is killing is still continuing to kill.
You are not getting
And instead of taking responsibility for the crime that he's committing, he's rather pointing fingers at the other person.
Bella, you're not getting it. I am not saying that it is wrong to accuse me. I'm not saying that. But when you are accusing me, you are a culprit. When you, Bella, because you don't play the politics.
But why did we vote them out?
Hold on. You see, when you check the records, the MPP virtually lost all the constituencies that Galamsey happens there.
Why?
Why? Because the NDC went there to tell them that when you vote for us, we will get you to continue with what you are doing.
Is that really why you lost in those areas?
Go and check it. Go and check all the research that have been conducted. Go and check it. Everywhere, in the Memphis, everywhere. We lost the seat because the NDC led a serious campaign there. And the message was that, vote for us. When we come, we will keep you working. So when such a person now comes back to come and tell me that, hey, you are doing this, you are doing this, you are doing this, because it's an election year, because you want to score cheap political points, then it is worrying. But when you, neutral Ghanaians, independent Ghanaians, come to us and raise the issue and concern, we will demonstrate the effect and the actions that we are taking. And like me, I said, look, it is one that we have to come out and boldly condemn it and say that, look, Galamsey, irrespective of who is involved, it is not helping us. Two, how do we intend to fight this thing devoid of partisan politics? I am a stakeholder, the chiefs are stakeholders, even the people themselves are stakeholders. How do we manage it? That is how now you go to both political parties and find out what their positions are or what they intend to do. Then you will see that some of them have even not relent on their decision to continue the act. No? So that is the worrying part. Look, I am worried because my Enu, you cannot fetch it. You cannot fetch it. And these are the same people when you try to fight it, will come after you. Are you getting the point I'm making?
They'll come after them. But in areas where we're told that there are armed miners who have guns, have all kinds of weapons, as a village person, who am I going to fight against? The people who have the guns?
You see,
because Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, hold on, there are people as high up as the office of the president who are involved in Galamsey. Now, they have brought in people, Chinese people, to do this work. And from all that we know, these Chinese people, they're carrying weapons. In fact, there are areas where they are slapping people who attempt to even go into some of these forest areas just to cut wood to pound fufu. They are not being allowed to enter these forests. And you expect that these village people would go against such people who are armed? Who is bringing in the excavators?
You are looking at one side of the story.
How am I looking at one side? Tell me.
See, you are looking at the side of the story where there are so-called big men acting.
So-called?
Yes.
This is a report from the chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining.
When you take the report on its own, and you don't look at other stakeholders commenting on the report, the Attorney General came out clearly to say that, look, there is no evidence to back the point and the claims and allegations that have been made by Professor.
Was there investigation conducted?
Yes, go and check from the CID.
They conducted an investigation and they said there was no evidence. Were all these people who were named in this report investigated? Were they questioned?
Yes, of course.
All of them?
Yes, all of them.
They were questioned. Beyond questioning, was there investigation into these areas? Because listen, we've heard from the speaker. Hold on, Nana, hold on. We've heard from the speaker who is saying that some of you in Parliament, the people you're dealing with are aware that you're involved in Galamsey. We've heard from the king of the Ashanti Kingdom who says that 30% of those of you who are involved in Galamsey are found in this room. That day, there were members of Parliament, there were ministers, the president was there. He accused them all of that. Now we hear Frank Anodom saying that you people have polluted more than us. So it's an admission that some of you are involved. There have been reports on that. What has gone on beyond this report to ensure that these people are not involved or are not guilty? Akunta Mining, a whole report was released on them. We heard the president come out and say that they are not involved in illegal mining. Meanwhile, the Minerals Commission had said that the license that they had was not for mining in that forest. Till date, nothing has been done.
You see?
So you tell us that we're looking at it from one angle when we have people indicating that a lot of you or a number of you who are high up there are involved.
When you come,
why are you not admitting that?
You see, if it appears as though there is a prejudiced position before the conversation. That's how
it's not prejudice.
No, hold on.
It is not prejudice.
I am telling you that.
I am worried.
At one side. Are you worried more than me?
I'm worried more than you. I don't think you are worried, Nana.
You are not.
Is the NPP worried?
I don't think you are.
Is the NPP worried?
I sincerely don't think.
Is this government worried?
When you come to my constituency, you find young men who are not politicians, owning excavators, working, no political influence. And I can tell you, that is why I'm telling you that when you want to deal with Galamsey and you want to supposedly look at it from one side of the angle, you will miss it. Because the person that spoiled Enru is not a politician. He had no political hand. The person that is affecting Danso, the person that is affecting Subri, the person that is affecting all these water bodies in my place, they are not kingpins in politics. The question is that, how do we as a country come down to deal with the issues? There's a role government have to play. How do we as citizens ensure that government is playing its role? How do we as members of the society, stakeholders, ensure that the other key stakeholder, the chieftaincy, the people themselves become responsible? How do we ensure it? That is the question. It is not about playing blame game and saying we have a report here. Reports that are born from personal, scores. Reports
that's how you reduce the report?
But what is it
personal
apart from
scores.
That? What is it apart from that?
So what he said in there, none of it really holds any truth.
I don't have the power to do anything about it.
But you have the power to describe the report as
because I read the report. Because I read the report. I read the report.
And there was not a single part of it that troubled you to the extent that
I am telling you,
you felt people should be investigated?
You seem to pick and come. Listen, I am telling you that the persons or the people who are in charge to follow up with the story or the report and act on the report came out to tell the whole Ghanaians that we have investigated the report. There is no good evidence to persecute the individuals mentioned in the report.
Who conducted the investigation?
I am telling you that. So read that Attorney General's report.
No, I'm just asking you. You may have read it too.
And you made reference to the CID, wrote to the CID. The CID came. They invited some of these people. They invited a whole lot of people. When you come to my constituency and you find young men mining, and you approach them, and they tell you that, oh, Honorable Asafo-Adjei, this is Honorable Asafo-Adjei's site. And then you go and write a report and say that Honorable Asafo-Adjei is involved in Galamsey in Bosome Frɛ without evidence. Perhaps I have no idea. And some of these boys would mention big names to scare you off their sites. And you say that when the report comes, they should persecute Asafo-Adjei because a guy on the field mentioned my name.
This is not just any guy. That's what I keep saying. This is the chairman of the Interministerial Committee. Hold on. Let's put that report aside. And I'm just ending on this so I can bring Edem in. Hold on. I have read the report.
Yes. I said you are saying we should put it aside.
No, I'm just coming. You are saying that that report is based on personal score. If what you are saying, to some extent, even may be true. Now, we have the Corporate Affairs Department of the Minerals Commission that released a statement. This was in 2022, October 4. And the title read, Akunta Mining Limited has no lease to mine in Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. Now, this report said that, the commission therefore assured the public that it was taking necessary steps to enforce the minister's directive issued on Friday, September 30th, prohibiting Akunta Mining Limited from mining in the Tano Nimiri Forest. And that is because they did not have a license. They only had a prospecting license. Then we hear from the president, who now comes to say that, Akunta Mining is not engaged in legal mining. And I remember that there were lots of CSOs that came out and said, why are you not allowing investigations to happen? As a president, why are you coming out to say Akunta Mining is not engaged? What are you hiding from everybody? Till date, we've not gotten to the bottom of this. As far as we're concerned, it's been brushed under the carpet because the president says Akunta Mining is not engaged. The CSOs called for investigation and prosecution. We have not seen that happen.
Okay, so
names have been mentioned. Who owns Akunta Mining? We're told that is the Shanti Regional Chairman of the NPP who owns Akunta Mining. That's an established fact, is it not? What has been done about it?
When you seem to deal with this whole story, or you seem to deal with this whole Galamsey issue, and there is a supposed individual or persons or group of people in the mindset to attack, to deal with, we cannot and we will not.
Who is attacking?
Hold on. The president of this country get constant security briefing every morning, every day. We heard the position of Abu Jinapor on this Nimiri issue, on this Akunta Mining issue. Why are you not making reference to what Abu Jinapor
What did he say?
Hold on. I am telling you that the president is saying that per the records and per the information available to him, Akunta cannot be surcharged or hold responsible on that Nimiri
Was
issue.
it based on investigation conducted?
I mean, I don't know what you call investigation. Sincerely.
No, but if the Minerals Commission comes out to make the statement, it has to be investigated.
I don't know what you call or what you deem or what qualifies as investigation. But if a president who gets report from national security, who gets report from agencies, from ministries, come to tell you something, and you call him for whichever investigation, I don't know who is supposed to do that investigation and give you that information. I don't know.
It should not be investigated. Is that what you're saying? You don't know who should investigate. The CID shouldn't investigate this. It says that while Akunta Mining, hold on. While Akunta Mining Limited has a mining lease to undertake mining operations in some parts of Samraboy outside the forest reserve, the company has no mineral rights to undertake any mining operation in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. So they had the license, but they could not enter the forest. But as at the time this report was released, they said they had entered the forest and they were mining. So if you're asking me who should investigate this, an allegation has been made. Was there an investigation before the president came out to say that they are not involved? So, you see, that's the thing, and I need to understand that from you.
Okay.
Just 10 seconds, please answer this for me so I can come to Edem.
I am telling you that the president constantly has briefing, constantly. From all the stakeholders and all the people or persons or institutions you mentioned, he gets information from them. So if the president speaks and you think that the president's one doesn't hold water and you rather go and take an institution's one, and that is what you are interested in because it serves a particular purpose, then that's fine.
I should trust the president when I need an investigation report.
So if you don't
trust the president, I need a report. So that I know that he's not trying to cover for his person. But let me bring Edem in. Let me bring Edem in, because you've been listening to Nana. He says that, sort of blames the opposition for also politicizing this matter, which is why the majority chief whip may have made that statement. What do you say?
Bella, I'm not surprised that Asafo-Adjei has decided to defend the reckless comments by the Honorable Anodompreh. Outside this studio, I know the relationship Asafo Adjei has with Arnaud Domprey. But you see, when we are on TV, when we are speaking to the nation, it is important for us to be sincere. It is important for us to protect the national interest as against your personal relationship with whoever. Even if Arnaud Domprey was my brother, father, or whoever, this morning, it's important for him to know that the statements he made as a senior member of parliament, those statements were reckless. Very, very reckless
he blamed
statements.
It on your part.
No, so you are justifying the statement, and how come there? Very reckless to begin with. Arnaud Domprey made a very shameful and reckless statement. Such statements should not be coming from members of parliament. Such an august house. You were elected to protect the interest of your constituents. We have a crisis at hand. People are not having access to clean water because of the actions of Galamsey. And you, all you had to say was to admit that, yes, we are destroying, but you destroyed more than us. Which is not true, by the way, but very shameful, very reckless statement.
You say it's not true?
I will get into it. Number two.
Based on what?
Number two, Asafo Adjei claims that the NDC promised to allow the continuation of Galamsey, which resulted in the NPP losing most of the seats around the Galamsey areas, or seats around where Galamsey takes place. But you just admitted that your seats, the constituency where you are contesting,
most. What do you
no, I'm coming there.
Okay.
You just admitted that your seat, your constituency, where you are contesting to be the next member of parliament, one of the biggest challenges you had is the issue of Galamsey. And yet in 2020, President Akufo-Addo polled 76% of votes in that area. Why? The promise that the NDC, the so-called the lies that you are claiming was in the NDC's manifesto or our promises. Why the message did not get to your constituency? Again, when you check, I'm getting
you
there.
Just note it down for me.
Journalists, including Erasmus Donko, is on record to have said that when they went to interview some of the people in those areas who voted against the NPP, their reason for voting against the NPP was that you claimed you were fighting Galamsey, but you seized people's equipment and you shared it to your party apparatchiks. And so it is not as if there was even a fight against Galamsey, by the way. What they did was to appropriate the illicit trade to their members, to their apparatchiks, to their party executives. Why were we not in this country, where even your national women organizer was accused of engaging in illicit or in Galamsey illegal mining? Were we not in this country? Were we not in this country when her excavators were seized and burnt, and she claimed that they were burnt not because there was really a fight against Galamsey, but because there was an agenda, internal agenda against her. And so there was even no fight against Galamsey. What they did was to seize concessions and appropriate these concessions and give all of this machinery, the equipment to their party supporters to go into illegal mining. Because, Bella, the only evidence that Ghanaians can point to say whether or not there was a fight against Galamsey should have been the preservation of our water bodies. So if you have the Ghana Water Company coming out to tell you that in the past 3-4 years, our water production has reduced to 40% because of increased illegal mining, and you are telling us that you are really on a fight against Galamsey when you have been in power for the 8 years, how does this even tally? I mean, tell me, Bella, you claim that you are fighting Galamsey, for which reason people voted against you, and yet the evidence is that there is increased illegal mining, which has resulted in the destruction of our water bodies. You went to Pra, and I challenge you and your production team, put out the video of River Pra to 2017. Put it out. and tell us how the water body is looking and how it was in 2016.
That does not mean that the NDC or some members within the NDC were not involved, because if you look at Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, he makes a statement that there are far more NDC people engaged in illegal mining than NPP members in the region. Now, he was talking about the Ashanti region. Maybe if I could just read, because he was referring to Wasa East District, where he says a former NDC deputy minister, who is also MP for the Wasa East constituency, has been actively mining in the Supri forest for years. When NPP party officials complained and the army component of Operation Vanguard was withdrawn almost 2 years to the 2020 elections, the NDC was given an advantage in terms of access to resources from mining. This is because there are far more NDC people engaged in illegal mining than NPP members. This is Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Bella, our position as a party has always been that we need to combat illegal mining to save lives. We need to combat illegal mining to save the forest reserve and our water bodies. And so regardless of whoever is involved in this illicit trade, government must deal with the person. But you have a position where you have the government of the day, even the president promised that he was prepared to put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. But all of that fight, as we are realizing now, was a scam, because there was really no fight against Galamsey.
How was it a scam?
The evidence is a scam because the only evidence of a real fight against Galamsey would have been a reduction in the activities of illegal miners. But is that the case now? No. In the same report that you just read out, Professor Frimpong Boateng stated that there was lack of political will at the presidency to fight Galamsey. He stated in the same report. He went further to say that members of cabinet, high-ranking members of cabinet, were the people interfering in the fight against Galamsey. He accused members, and you realize he even said it was because he was fighting Galamsey, that is why he was sacked. And so there was no fight against Galamsey. Again, not too long ago, Ernest Frimpong, the NPP PC from Menfi East, was heard telling party supporters, telling illegal miners, Galamseyers, that you need to attack soldiers when they attempt stopping you from proceeding with this. He's made those remarks in the presence of the Western Regional Minister who chairs the Security Council. Have you heard the party sanction this gentleman?
He has taken his words back. He has apologized. He says he was misconstrued. His words were misconstrued.
But Bella, what you heard? What you heard? Why? When they make a statement, they have to come back and say their words were misconstrued. Why? We heard him clear.
Adam, would you admit,
did you not hear him clear and loud?
I mean, as you're mentioning,
was the minister not there?
Would you admit
the
that
former local government minister? No, let me conclude on this before you come in, Bella. The former local government minister, Alima Mahama, was heard loud and clear when she said she knew MMDCs who were involved in illegal mining. And this is coming from in-house, a cabinet minister, the local government minister at the time, saying that she was aware of members of the administration, MMDCs, who were actively involved in Galamsey. And so when you sit here and you paint the picture as though the NDC is just making an attempt to make this issue partisan, you are not being fair to the fact.
Which is why I wanted to ask you this question about former President John Dramani Mahama, when he visited one of these mining sites ahead of the 2020 general elections and promised them that if he assumes office, he's going to release those who have been arrested and jailed, because he believes that with the time they spent in prison, they would have regretted their actions and so will come back and do right by the people. Now, that's also another angle of the conversation that people are having and wondering that, was that even the right statement to make at that time, that you're going to release the people who have been involved in polluting the environment?
President Mahama has always been an advocate for justice. And our position at the time was the fact that government claimed that they were fighting Galamsey. They go in and arrest some vulnerable people, punish them or imprison them to create the impression that they were fighting Galamsey.
Vulnerable in what sense?
I'm going. Vulnerable because obviously they did not have the political connections that the likes of Aisha Huang had. What happened to Aisha? Senior minister told us that when they arrested a Chinese Galamsey mogul, somebody that everybody
knew was involved in gargantuan Galamsey activities when they arrested her, you asked her to go. She found ways back into the country because she had political connections. But then you go and arrest Konimo, a vulnerable young man who was employed by some big men to just engage in Galamsey without even going further to know who are the people that purchase the equipment, who are the people that own the concessions. And so we were of the view that if you want to combat Galamsey, the target should not be just the ordinary, the vulnerable person, the vulnerable Ghanaian. Look out for the political heads. Look out for the big men and women who are financing this project. So when Halima Mahama said she knew MMDCs who were actively involved in Galamsey, she should have gone further to have them also imprisoned like those people that President Mahama spoke about. When you talk about imprisoning or disciplining people, punishing people, you should be able to tell us why Aisha Huang was deported and weeks later she found her way back into this country because she had political connections with your government. Look, this fight against Galamsey is an issue of existential threat. As we speak today, Bella, they are warning that by 2030, which is just 6 years from now, Ghana may have to import water, drinking water, if the activities of Galamsey continues at this pace. By 2030, we may have to be importing water. Now you have a situation where a government has been in power for 8 years, claimed they were fighting Galamsey, and yet the evidence, the resource is that we have increased illegal mining, and that is why all our forest reserves and our water bodies are being destroyed. Then this government turns back, and you have a member of parliament shamefully and ridiculously speaks in parliament and is telling you that the NDC destroyed the water bodies more. And I'm saying that, look, Bella, I don't even want to go into that petty comment that he made, but I'm challenging you and your producers. You were at SPRA a few days ago. Show us the video of PRA in 2016 when the NDC left office.
All right.
Show us the video of PRA.
Hold on. Let me just bring the toxicologist in, just briefly, so that you can also make a statement. And Yakubu Adam is a toxicologist. There's a need for us to have this conversation because we've been advised by some people to probably just go and have a toxicology test, every single Ghanaian, just to check if we have any traces of any of these metals, mercury, lead, any of these poisonous substances in our bloodstream. Yakubu, thank you for joining us. I hope you're well.
Thank you very much, Vela. I'm doing very good. Yourself? I'm
good. Thank you very much. Now, what could be the worst effects of having some of these poisonous materials in our water, in our food, etc.? Because we know there's a study that has been conducted showing that there are children in these Galamsey areas who are being born with defects as a result of Galamsey activities. Then also there's a high rate of kidney diseases. How bad can it be to the extent that we may have to do a toxicology test?
Thank you very much, Bella, and good morning to your panel members and your listeners. When it comes to the issue of Galamsey extraction and the mercury usage, this is a public health concern in Ghana that we need to actually focus on. Because after this extraction process, the mercury ends up in our environment. That's our soil and our water bodies. And any crop that is being grown on these, any fish that actually survive in this water ends up picking this mercury. So when anybody consumes from this fish or any food that is harvested on this soil that has been contaminated, you are likely to be exposed to mercury. And when you are being exposed to mercury, one studies that was conducted find out that even children are more prone to actually accumulate more of this mercury than even the adults. So this actually poses a lot of threat to even the children living around the Galamsey areas and even far away from these Galamsey areas. When this mercury actually gets into our body, this mercury can be picked by through our skin contact, just coming in contact with the water body. Okay. It can be picked, consuming fish from these water bodies, you can get exposed to this mercury, and when you cultivate crops from soil that is being contaminated with mercury, you can be exposed. But one thing is that the mercury that is used for Galamsey, when it ends up in our environment, it changes into another form of mercury. That's organic form, which we normally call it the methyl mercury. And this is very, very poisonous than even the one that is used in the extraction after it is being converted by a microorganism in the soil or in the water bodies. And when this gets into our blood, the first site of deposition is our brain. And when it gets into our brain, it can stay there for studies have shown that it can even stay in our brain for even 20 good years. And this can bring a neurological problem to us. So you'll be having people that are having a lot of disorder or paralysis. Because remember, it's the brain that controls the body movement or the body part. So if this mercury accumulates in that part of the brain that controls a certain part of the body, you may end up being paralyzed or having that part of your body being napped. And aside depositing in the brain, another research has shown that the main site of deposition outside the brain is also the kidney, because the mercury is lipid in nature, that is lipophilic, and the kidney, what also surrounds the kidney, is also lipid. So this mercury ends up binding to this kidney. And one thing is that the mercury is not supposed to be there, so your body will end up trying to fight the mercury accumulated in the kidney. And by so doing, it will end up destroying your kidney, and that can lead to kidney problem. But one thing about this kidney issue is that when you are having a kidney problem, it mostly comes with unnoticeable symptoms, meaning you can have a kidney problem without you knowing, because you have various stages. When it comes to the chronic kidney disease, you have about 5 stages: stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have to get to the 5 before you start noticing the symptoms. And by the time you get to the hospital, it is too late. And the only thing you need is dialysis or transplant. So that is why it is actually recommended that each and everyone actually go in for this kidney function test.
Okay.
To at least know the stage you are in now, so that you don't get to the last stage, which is irreversible, and which we can't do anything about that.
How long?
Statistics have shown that.
Okay. Carry on.
And statistics have shown that about 17% of Ghanaians are currently having kidney problem. This was a report made by Dr. Opoku Ampoma, the CEO of Kolebu Teaching Hospital last year. And if this is something to go by, then we can say that about 5 million Ghanaians are currently living with kidney problem. But when I say kidney problem, does not necessarily mean it has gotten to the failure stage. Maybe we are in any of the stages as we are speaking. But so it is actually recommended that at least every single Ghanaian going for this function test, at least to know the stage you are in, so that you can be advised on the diet and also what.
I see. Well, I've heard that
now exposure to mercury has been rampant.
Now, it's not just mercury. There's lead. Okay. There's also cyanide, which we know, are being used in some of these areas as well. Do they also pose the same risk, or even far greater risks? Can you hear me, Yakubu?
Yes, please. When it comes to Ghana,
and make it brief for me, please.
Okay. So when it comes to galamsey extraction, we have 2 methods, mostly that we use in Ghana: the cyanide extraction and the mercury. And this cyanide, for that one, studies have already established that it's carcinogenic. When you are being exposed to this cyanide, you are actually subjecting yourself to risks of getting cancer. And this has contributed to cancer a lot. And when it comes to lead, these are minerals. They are all heavy metals, and it is found it is found in the earth crust. So as you are digging to actually or excavating to actually get your gravels.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can reconnect with him. But let me come to Nana Safo-Adjei so we can continue this conversation. You wanted to touch on something that Edem said.
So, see, when we talk about the natural resources God has blessed us with, He blessed us with so we can mine them. what actually is the bone of contention is the ways, the methods we mine with. What two governments have been trying to do is to reduce the effect of these minings on our environment and our water bodies. See, that is why I said that when we have this discussion, this passionate of political inclinations and the blame games, then we will be fine. And at the end of the day, we would help our people and prefer solutions to our people. Now, this is what Adam did. Adam came to demonstrate to you and the viewers why he thinks that MPP have failed in the against Galamsey. And even went further to say that, look, you have done this more than we did. Because when you look at PRA after 2016 and you look at PRA now, you see a huge difference.
Is that not a fact?
Oh. If you watch, when we came into power, 2017, there was a serious, huge fight against Galamsey. Abujinapo, the drones and all that. Even Inusa Fuseni, Honorable, made claims to that. The Ghana Water Corporation Limited came to commend government and even put, indicate to the fact that these menaces have now come down. Right. No. Yes, it's there. There are records there.
You have a report.
I was trying to find it. I'll get to you. Hold on. Don't distract me. Don't distract me. No.
Try and find the
I will do that.
Because I need to know what the issue that statement.
Two, the same Ghana Water have issued statements way beyond your time as to how the effects of Galamsey is affecting the water bodies, and even caution or warn the country that they may stop production in some of their plants because of the Galamsey. Now, two, who introduced the Chinese and the Shamfines in our water bodies? You did. You did. Yes, hold on. The Aisha one you are mentioning, came to Ghana through you. True. The Aisha one. There was even a time. Hold on. There was even a time through the NDC. There was even a time. There was even a time. There was even a time that there were videos or there were pictures, mockery pictures of Aisha One and Inusa Fuseni. There was a whole lot of this. The point I'm making here is that, you see, when you have the one that introduced this Chinese into this country to do Galamsey, when you have the people that brought them to do, we didn't even have what we call alluvial mining in this country. We didn't know what alluvial mining was until the NDC introduced the Chinese and with their Chamfines. We never knew them.
And then you came.
Hold on. And you have these people who are benefiting from the illegal mining. Look, I have a story here. If you allow me, he said, we will not sit down and allow Nanado to collapse Galamsey. Nanado has imported more security cars to reactivate the operations vanguard. So please vote for JM so that you can continue to do your Galamsey. That was Kweku Buahin.
Where was this statement made and when?
Yes, Kweku Buahin, even before 2020 elections. And there are a lot of videos and pictures. I can send you all of them with Kweku Buahin, with the NDC campaigns and NDC campaigners going and meeting Galamseyers and telling them, no, hold on, let me finish.
Okay, but all these statements there was an active fight against illegal mining.
No, you see, that is the point I'm making.
We end up with that.
When I am fighting, and the fight I am supposedly waging is being used against me, and somebody is benefiting from that fight.
Who is benefiting?
The NDC.
Your people didn't benefit.
No, how did we benefit?
Your people were benefiting. No, there were key people.
You are reducing this.
I mean, this report.
I continue to make this point. Hold on.
Why is it that when it comes to this report, you don't want to regard any aspect of it?
I ask you a question.
But you are very quick at pointing accusing fingers at the NDC.
I ask you a question. That you see, when you get to Bosome Frere and you get to the what do you call the NRU, and you find young men doing Galamsey on their NRU, and you catch them, and they tell you that, oh, this site belongs to Honorable Asafo Adjei, and you write a report without following up to find out whether truly the site belongs to me, what inclination do I have with the site, what is the evidence, what is the proof, and you just come out and go and sit on radio, write a report, say something and say that, even when we go to Bosome Frere, the parliamentary candidate Nana Kwame Asafo Adjei own sites in Bosome Frere. When you do this, and I come here and tell you that, you see, it is not just mere mentioning names. because I know how these people operate. And sometimes they mention their names to scare people off. Not all of them are true. There are some that we can verify, and there are some that are true. But not all of the names
do you
they
know
keep
the ones
mentioning.
that are true?
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. And I'm telling you that, you see...
But your former local government minister said she knew.
I don't know.
The Asantehene said he knew.
You see, the Asantehene...
Now, we heard from the speaker yesterday who said there are some of those of you in parliament who are involved. Why are we not naming and shaming?
I do not know what the speaker knows. I do not know. But as for the Asantehene, I have followed a lot of his, sittings and the interventions he has made in some of these areas. So I know he's doing a good work when it comes to the Galamsey. Even when I know in my area, even when you mention the name of Otumfuo, that if you don't stop this, Otumfuo will hear it. They get scared that when you mention the soldiers and the police, that tells yes.
But when the president says it, they don't get scared.
Hold on. No, the president don't come there. The president don't come. But
no, but the
Otumfuo has a
president puts his presidency on the line.
So my point.
The president introduced Operation Vanguard through his ministry.
But you see, you find people going to tell the Galamsey.
We had Operation Galamstop. We had Operation Halt 1, 2, 3.
We've had all sorts of names before we came to power. My point here is yes, you have a problem, and I also have a problem with that. My problem is that we have a situation that we are talking about, and it appears that the one moderating the situation has a certain position, and when you go,
do you know what my position is? My position is that as a Ghanaian,
you know,
I am troubled. I am being poisoned. Ghanaians are being poisoned by the water. I found a gentleman who says that they are watering their crops with the polluted water. Only God knows where that crop is going to get. And you think I don't have a right to get worried about it?
You don't exhibit being worried on set here.
Why don't I?
No, I'm telling you that. You see, that is why I'm telling you that when the three of us, when we want to mention or talk about who is closely worried and affected, and directly have effect on him, it is me, not none of you. Because I have the menace going on in my constituency.
No, but at the same time, we are not getting hold on, Adam, you have this going on in your constituency.
Adam doesn't understand.
But we're also buying food from these areas.
He doesn't even know what it takes. He doesn't even understand the effects of Galamsey. He doesn't have, based on the fact that he's only theoretical about Galamsey, he doesn't have any practical experience.
And you're saying this based on?
Because go to Ketu and show me where one site in your area.
So I'm telling
you that. So I'm making a point that
where you are from that should determine
where you are from. Where you are from.
Very ignorant.
You see, very ignorant.
Hold on, Adam.
Where you are from gives you an experience, gives you a hand-on, experience about what is happening. The point is clear. I am telling you that the discussion we are having here, and when I started my presentation, I told you that let us take politics out of this discussion and prefer solutions and tell Ghanaians that we believe that when we do this, this is what will help. None of us have preferred any solution. Even to the point that the NDC that sought to be polluting the people against the government and sought to make gains from the Galamsey are hereby making it look like, look, we are going to continue the Galamsey menace. Vote for us. The people who are fighting it will come for.
Who said they'll continue the Galamsey menace?
Who said the NDC said that?
Hold on. Did you hear that from Adam, I'll let you come in. Hold on. I'll give you time. Don't worry. I need to understand what he said.
When GM makes a statement that he is coming back to grant amnesty to the Galamseyers, those who were arrested doing Galamsey, what is the implication?
Can I quote what he said?
What is
Can I quote what he said? Okay, so this is what he said. Hold on. Let me just mention. So today they are still in prison. Hold on. That Chinese Galamsey queen was arrested but left to go scot-free.
Yes.
She was never prosecuted, but our people are in jail suffering.
That is not true.
When I'm quoting, this is a quoted.
I'm telling you, the quote is not true.
Oh, it's not true.
Because the
wait, let me land. Hold on. When we come, we shall grant all those arrested and jailed amnesty. They'll come back to their homes and work. I believe they have suffered enough, shown remorse for whatever they have committed. We will institute measures to check the operations of small-scale mining. This is what the former president said. Is he not referencing the fact that the people who are rather behind the Galamsey have been left to go scot-free, and it is the others who cannot afford?
That is the point I have with you. That is the point I have with the whole discussion. And I made examples that if you arrest somebody and the person believes that I am the one financing him,
and the person is not able to make the claims at court that, hey, honorable judge, Mr. Safoje gave me the champagne, Mr. Safoje gave me the excavator, we are working for Mr. Safoje, these are the evidence that proceeds goes into the account of Mr. Safoje, and you are prosecuted. Who then, how do you now make the claim that there is a certain Mr. Safoje somewhere who is financing these people, and they have persecuted the people and they have left Mr. Safoje?
These are the powerful people.
No, but you see, how powerful are they?
People.
Do we have records? And do we have claims that there have been evidence to show that a certain individual is the one who bought the champagne, one who is financing, and the certain individual has been left scot-free? That's the point you make it. And when you say that
you are very ignorant.
What's the point?
You see, Asafoje has made a lot of very ignorant statements. Very, very ignorant statements. You are very ignorant. You make the claim by the position that you've preferred this morning. You are claiming that if you are not coming from areas where illegal mining takes place, you cannot even talk about Galamsey. That is what you are saying. And it's very ignorant, very childish statement to make. In fact, in 2017, when the media coalition launched the campaign against Galamsey that the government jumped on, Ken Asigbe and co, who are part of that fight, who were leading the fight, are they coming from Galamsey areas?
Bella,
are they coming from?
Hold on.
But you made statement.
When you were making a statement, I didn't let you know.
I didn't interrupt. No, you just shut up. No, shut up and let me finish. No, because I kept going. No, shut up and let me finish. Shut up and let me finish. Because when you were speaking, when you were speaking,
and the moderator is telling you to keep quiet.
No, I am telling you to shut up. Because when you were speaking, I kept quiet. You should shut up.
I'm telling you,
no, allow them to land.
You see, you are
avoiding them to land because you're making it unfair. Now I have to go.
I kept quiet. No, Bella, if you do that, you are not being fair to me.
Hold on.
This is what
it's not fair. Allow him to speak. You made an accusation against him.
You are afraid I'm exposing your ignorance. So you shut up. I kept quiet and you speak all your
foolishness. You are being very unfair.
No.
You are being very unfair.
I kept quiet.
That's not right.
All your ignorance. Allow me to respond.
You make an allegation against him.
Allow me to respond.
You are not getting.
Why
are you afraid? Why are you afraid? No. Respect the viewers. Shut up.
No,
you shut up.
No, Asafoje. That's not nice.
Even
that's not nice.
That's
not nice.
To something I didn't.
You see, because of that, my producers are not allowing us to continue because of what you're doing. I'm sorry. Hold on.
You should correct me well. I said you.
Hold on.
You should correct me well. And you are arrogant about your ignorance. Bella, if you don't allow the show to go on, you are not being fair to me.
Hold on.
Because
Asafoje, give him time. Our time is already up.
I'm not happy about it. You see,
you're not happy about what? You said something.
But that's what you said.
So hold on. I told you note it down. Note it down.
He's just avoiding a debate.
Unfortunately, no.
If you can't issue at this point, you're not being fair to me.
I know. I'm sorry about that, but
when you are spewing his
Asafoje, why are you doing this? I told you note it down. Note it down.
That is what decent men do.
Note it down.
Let me just when
you spoke, I stopped him from speaking. Now it's his turn. How am I not helping? I'm leaving this to the viewers to judge because they've been watching as well. Have I been unfair or it's been your fault? Hold on. Let me hear from that. No, I need to hear from my director first because already.
Let me just clarify my point.
Hold on.
You spewed a lot of ignorance.
Can I let him continue? Let me give him just about 2 minutes or so he can please. Director, let Adam just land on this point, please.
Fair to me.
Please, Adam, speak.
Very good. So now, Bella, back to the point. You are making the claim that if there is anybody being affected, it is you because there's Galamsey in your constituency. And I'm telling you, why? When the Ghana Water Company released their statement warning that we'll have to import water. We will import water only to the areas where Galamsey is taking place. You really do not even understand what this fight is all about. Look, we have come to a situation where the government of the day is the worst culprit in this Galamsey fight. The government of the day is the worst culprit. Look, when you go to the military camps today, speak to senior officers. They are all of the view that today the fight against Galamsey and the Operation Galam Stop is more lucrative than even going for peacekeeping. Because people in government are using this fight against Galamsey to appropriate mining equipment. So when they seize it from person A, they allocate those items. Why were we not in this country when excavators that were seized from miners got missing? Remember, about over 500 excavators got missing. Where did those excavators go to?
said that was cooked.
Cooked
against him. It was cooked against him by his own people.
By his own people. But were the excavators seized? Were we able to locate them? No. And so you have a situation where members of government, and I'm not surprised he's putting up this attitude, because certainly they don't want us to go into the issues. Bella, even when there was a video evidence against the secretary of the Inter-Ministerial Committee, President Akufo-Addo cleared him. So clearly you have a president who has failed the fight against Galamsey. You have a president who has shown no commitment against the fight against Galamsey. What we have today is a president and a vice president and an entire government who have benefited from illicit mining. And for that matter, only guarding, only promoting and protecting members of the NPP who are engaged in Galamsey. And we have said, and you go into our manifesto, look, from 2025, the NDC government will embark on an aggressive plan to stop illegal mining. And one of the ways by which we are planning to do this is to ensure that find a way of regulating small-scale mining. By regulating and granting them license, then they can properly be regulated such that the activities will not be dangerous to the environment. And that is clearly stated in our manifesto. Bella, look, if there is anything the NPP has achieved in the fight against Galamsey in the last 8 years, it is nothing but just noise about it. The actual culprits are in government, members of their executive, MMDCs, members of parliament. That is why I'm not surprised such reckless statements can be coming from members of parliament that you have polluted the water more than they. Look, where we are today, we are at a crossroad. The good people of Ghana are looking for a president and a government that will be committed to the real fight against Galamsey. The good people of Ghana are interested in people who will come and protect the forest reserves. The good people of Ghana are interested in people who will come to government and protect our water bodies, so that by 2030, we may not have to be importing water from elsewhere. And I believe that it will take John Dramani Mahama to reset this country and return it back to on the path of progress and development. But what we have today is a group of hoodlums, a group of people who are so corrupt, that every activity of government, every program of government is an avenue for them to loot. They have failed the fight against Galamsey. It was nothing but a scam. And the evidence is the water bodies that you, Bella, you went to see a few days ago at Prague. That is the evidence.
I hope you weren't
that is their mark.
I hope you weren't referring to those in government as the hoodlums, because that's quite an extreme statement.
Bella, I'm telling you that the evidence of their failed fight against Galamsey, the evidence of their sponsored fight against Galamsey, which has failed, is the water bodies that you, Bella, you went to experience a few days ago.
Good morning to Mr. Edward Kariwe. He's the former General Secretary of the General Agric Workers Union. And he says that, good morning, Bella. I'm extremely sad to hear the Honorable MP. Hold on. Hold on, Nana, I'm not done with you. I missed my train of thought. Good morning. I'm extremely sad to hear the Honorable MP speaking to dismiss every suggestion put forward to solve the Galamsey problem. Yet, his claim of a solution is to blame the opposition for blaming the government. How on earth should the government of the day, instead of solving the Galamsey problem, rather blame everyone for their failure? I asked you to note something down so that you can say it. Nana?
Simple. I don't know how we went about all the circles. Adam made a claim that I am saying that if you are not from a Galamsey area, you cannot speak about Galamsey. How can I make that statement?
Hold on, please.
Bella, that is what he said.
Allow him to speak.
That is what you said. You said because there's no Galamsey in Ketu North,
when he was interjecting
I will not even understand.
How do you make such an
allow him
to make that statement?
So that's what he said.
Allow him to explain.
Don't let him lie that he didn't say.
Hold on.
You said because there was no Galamsey in Ketu North. Is that not what you said?
When he was doing that, I said it was unfair.
And I'm saying that.
Let him make that
don't
statement.
Let him lie. Why?
Hold on.
If you have realized on second thought, that what you said earlier was wrong.
So
just
allow
admit.
him to make that
you cannot be
statement, and then we
ignorant
can
and
take it from
arrogant
there.
at the same time.
Nana, please
You
carry
cannot
on.
be ignorant and arrogant at the same time. You said there was no Galamsey in Ketu North, so I do not even understand what Galamsey is.
So can he make a statement?
No, but that's what he said. Why is he trying to polish it? Why we all heard it, the viewers heard it.
He says he's trying
and
to.
if you want to withdraw it, just admit and withdraw.
Hold on. So
but don't be arrogant about the mistake you made. You cannot be ignorant and arrogant at the same time.
Let them understand that.
But that is what you said.
He has no score to settle.
Nobody is settling the score.
That he has no score.
But why? Did I force you to make those ignorant statements?
I am also entitled to tell him
the statements that you made.
Mouth.
Shut what?
Yes, I'm also entitled to tell him. No, when he was making the point, I was also entitled to tell him. But
if you want, if you have second thought, no, Bella,
we don't have the time. He wanted to make a statement. Can you allow him to make that statement?
No, he made a statement. We all heard him loud and clear.
Okay, we have to go, unfortunately. It doesn't look like we'll arrive at any amicable solution at this point. Nana Kwame Asafo, a JIS, a parliamentary candidate for Bosome Freho constituency. Edem Eric Agbana, parliamentary candidate for Ketu North constituency. We also spoke to a toxicologist earlier, Yakubu. Thank you as well. For all of you who have sent messages, I apologize I cannot read them, but we have community manifesto coming up as well. Keep watching. We'll be right back.